that so far? So why should they be working for nothing that he should get paid?
Well, there's a quid pro quo there.
If it's a quid pro quo, why doesn't it work both ways?
You mean a quo prid quo? Well, the idea, don't you remember years ago the feud between Ed Sullivan, your old friend, and Steve Allen?
Right.
Steve Allen was getting, no, was it between those two?
Listen,
I'm trying to make a...
I got my own troubles. I have to finish your story. He starts a story, I'm working for nothing. Now I have to play both parts here.
I think Sullivan was complaining that he paid $10,000 to the biggest stars,
Right.
$7,500 and $10,000.
Steve Allen was getting them for nothing.
For getting him for at that time, $300 or so, but that was the name of the game. Yeah.
You see, you could create an idea.
Would you put your finger up here and give us a little publicity?
I don't like that cheap here. There's a limit to how much I'm going to do for nothing. Listen. Yeah. There's a limit. I'm not going to look at publicity stunts, promote your career, finish your sentences. Work without makeup. There's a million things I have to do here. But don't you have any more intelligent questions than this, or is this the best you can do?
I don't have any questions. I
Good,
like
so
to
we'll
bring
sit
you
there
out
and we'll
here.
look at each other for a couple hours. I'll tell you the truth. You have a beautiful audience. I don't mind watching them. So, let's look how many people have nothing to do. Take a look.
You want to give...
This looks like an unemployment office here.
You want to give the name of the theater where the show is?
It's the Brooks Atkinson Theater.
That's it. There you go, right? That's what, isn't
I
that
knew it
worth
right
something?
away. Not only that.
Your show pays money to the New York Times for an ad.
That's right.
All right, so they're not paying us for an ad. It's a quid pro quo.
It's a quid pro quo, but...
Why am I talking like this?
Wouldn't it be funny if he walks out talking like me and I wind up talking like him?
You find that's true, that people begin talking like you, right?
I find that it's amazingly true every time I meet somebody, no matter which language they spoke before. By the time they talk to me for 10 minutes, they wind up talking like this. I might meet a girl from Arkansas. When I meet her, she says, hey there, Arkansas. 10 minutes later, she says, well, I'll tell you the truth. It happens to everybody.
Yeah. You were born in Alabama, was it?
No. I never heard of Alabama. I don't think I'd have the nerve to walk in Alabama. They're waiting for a Jew like me in Alabama.
Very nice down there.
I have nothing against Alabama. As long as I can keep out of the place, don't bother.
So you're doing 8 shows a week?
7 shows a week. I refuse to do a Wednesday matinee. Every other show on Broadway has a Wednesday matinee. But I think for a one-man show, being on the stage for 2.25 hours, to do another show like that, another 2 hours later is a little too much. And I don't think the money is worth it because there's not enough money in the world. You know what I think the problem with most people are? Instead of using the money to live better, they suffer so much for the money that they live worse. That's exactly the truth.
I think that is
First you start off trying to make money so you could live better. Then you see how much money you could make, so you go right back to work. And as soon as you find out you could make a lot of money, you never stop working to make more. The guy that can't make a living at all is a lot happier. Because, that's right, if a guy stunk, even if he tried to work, if he couldn't make much money, so he doesn't care if he works or not. So if he doesn't work, what could he lose, $1.25? So he's happy when he's doing nothing. But if a guy is capable of making a fortune, he can't stop working. He keeps thinking of how much money he's losing by not working, so he goes right back to work. That's why the millionaires never stop working, and they suffer and struggle with their work all their lives because they can't stop working for more money. A common bum, a person who could never make a living, is a happy person because he's a man of leisure. He knows he's got nothing to lose by doing nothing.
Yeah. Well,
this is the fantastic irony. The fantastic irony is that the people who could make the most money...
Irony?
Irony.
Yeah.
The people who make the most money are the most miserable and work the hardest and never enjoy life. And they can't stop working until they're too tired to work or incapable of working. Now they're 87 and they have $40 million. They'd love to enjoy their life, but they can't get off a chair.
Well, that's true. That's very true. You probably take it a little too far. It's better to have money than not. You were poor when you were a kid, weren't you?
Right, I was very
poor.
So you're rich. And I'm going to be poor again if I keep doing this show. I think you want to take me back to where I was. It's better to be rich, but there's a value system here that's exactly perverse to reality. People are too stupid to realize that they're always sacrificing themselves for their money instead of enjoying it.
Yes, that's true. I mean, a lot of rich people don't spend time with their families, and they regret it later and all that. But still, there's no question that you'd rather have money than not have money.
Well,
but this appearance on Broadway is much more than money. Because I know you've discussed this a million times, but let's assume they don't know it. There's a funny thing with your career, that you've been going strong for, what, 25 years?
About that.
Yeah. But, and you had some controversy and this and that. But it's like the insiders always knew you're funny, but here you are, and you're flabbergasted by how well received you've been. You're very modest about this. I talked to you about this in a restaurant, and you know.
Right.
Why are you so surprised? You know you're funny.
I'm not surprised that I'm funny. I'm surprised at the huge amount of acclaim that it's suddenly getting. It's as if I'm telling you the same story for 10 years, and you keep saying it's nothing, and 25 years later, you say, "Wait, is this your story?" It's the same story. Why are you suddenly discovering it like you never heard it before? I'm telling people the same type of jokes for 25 years, and all of a sudden they're saying, "Why is this man funny?" Because, you know why? Because you go into a legitimate theater. As soon as you see something legitimate theater, it becomes a work of art in your mind. And you respect it more, and you wait to hear the gems come out. If you see it in a nightclub, you say, "So what? I heard it before." Even if you didn't, you think you do. Besides, you're not listening. You got a girlfriend with you. You're trying to see how good you do with her. Meanwhile, he's telling you jokes. You're not really listening. You're getting turned on. You forget there's somebody there. He's bothering you. He's interrupting you. And just when you're getting excited, here's another joke. Who cares?
I know what you mean.
But in a legitimate theater, you're not facing a girl. You're facing a stage.
We'll be right back with more with Jackie Mason right after this. We're talking to Jackie Mason, and who is on Broadway in The World According to Me, which is one hilarious show. You're talking about clubs and theater. You know what I was thinking of when I started at the Improv, way back in '65 or so here in New York? The people used to be eating in the front table, and there was a waitress named Laurie. Everyone had aspirations, and no one was a waitress or a waiter. They were all in training for show business. She used to go in the ladies' room, which you had to put paper on the knob when you go in. You know, really disgusting corner there. And she used to put on this garter belt and a whole costume and come out and do the Aldonza the Horse song from Man of La Mancha. And the first table is eating a steak. She puts her foot up on the table. "Born on a dung heap, look at this kitchen wretch reeking with sweat. Aldonza the whore." And check, please. You know, there's an odd mixture when people are doing anything but watching you. You know? I mean, although cabaret has a nice tradition, like at Second City too, when people they serve drinks. It's not the worst thing in the world to perform in front of. In fact, a club is a lovely thing at its best, don't you think?
I think it's a lovely thing, but the truth of the matter is people use a club as a place to just do other things after you're an intermission for the real thing that they're out for. A guy takes a girl out and he can't make love to her as soon as he walks into the house. You can't say, "Hello, let's make love," so you have to see a show first. You see a show first, it's not bad. So you keep sitting there through the show waiting for it to be over so you can get to what you want to do.
He's projecting now. You're a real ladies' man.
I'm a real lady.
Top ladies.
What else is there? What else should I go with? What, you expect to go out with furniture? Do you have to go with something?
I was talking to him once in the lobby of a hotel, and he's looking me straight in the eye, and suddenly he goes right past me. He goes, "Pardon me, are you single?" A woman. You'll never get married, huh?
Probably not. I found out there's no necessity for it. It doesn't serve any purpose in anybody's life. It's a big waste of time. The whole idea of marriage is absolutely stupid. It serves absolutely no purpose for anybody. I'm making a fortune. All of a sudden, the girl who's not working becomes my partner. I don't know. There's no other field in the world. No place on this earth could you make a fortune to somebody else by saying, "I do," takes half your money. Because I do, why not? If you're making a fortune, I'll say I do too. Anybody. I don't see what I need them for.
Your brothers and sisters have children, right?
Right.
You're an uncle, Jackie?
Right, many times.
Are you a good uncle?
I'm a fantastic uncle. I don't show up. They don't bother me.
I was a good uncle, too, till I had my child. You know, I'd bounce them on my knee and then home to their parents, you know. You don't
I think children are wonderful things, but it's none of my business to be bothered with them. Not that I'm a selfish person. I'm not at all selfish. But you have to know what 90% of the fathers in this country almost never see their children. To me, there's something very low about becoming a father and having no time for your child. The average parent in this country, the average father, I should say, spends an hour and a half a week with his child. Now, this is the lowest commentary, the saddest commentary. This is an actual statistic. Yeah. This is an actual true statistic. From 15 years of Yale graduates that were studied about how much time they spend with their son, with their child. And they found that the average father spends an hour and a half of actual time with his kid. Now, they always have perfect excuses. I would love to see my kid, but I'm busy. But every man I meet tells me how he misses his child. He'll never with him. But he always tells you how he
spends the quality time with him.
Right. They give the new title for spending no time with their children is quality time. I spend a minute and a half, but it's quality. I give them quality. I stand in front of them. I watch them call me names, and I go. They're all phonies. Nobody does this with them. Somehow for a girlfriend, they always have time. For cheating on the side, they have time. For sneaking around a few buildings, they got time. But for that kid, I almost got there. I would have liked to. I couldn't make it. They're all phonies. Because most people really, if the study was really made, they would find that most parents really don't really love their children. They love them out of guilt. They don't. They love them out of guilt, but they don't really want to spend any time with them. Why do you think so many kids are on drugs all over this country? Every time a parent laments the drug problem, what he's really lamenting is the parental problem. Parents spend so little time with their kids that their kids have no outlet, and they have to find outlets for their emotional vacuum that they're suffering.
Jackie, why don't you come out of your shell and take a stand? You know, you keep your ideas bottled up.
But this is a very sad commentary on our whole culture. Nobody would open a store unless he has time to take care of it. But they'll have a child that have no time for it.
I agree.
They have a wife and have no time for their wife. Don't get married. Don't create a marriage that you don't intend to be bothered with.
Yeah.
90% of the married men cheat in America. The rest of them cheat in Europe. You didn't know this? Why do I have to tell you everything? I'm working for these prices.
Well, I agree with you. I think maybe you go a little too far on some of it, but I think that parents probably do love each other.
I think
it's your own flesh and blood.
It's a question of love. It could be defined in different terms.
And they may
love in principle has nothing to do with it. The child doesn't need your love in principle. He needs your presence. You have to be there to be concerned and involved with the child. The child doesn't know you love him if you're not there. And a person who claims he loves his child but he got no time for him should drop dead. That's what I think of it. I know it sounds a little severe, but it's not compared to what they deserve.
A little severe. It's like Islamic law.
But it's nothing compared to what they deserve. It's nothing compared. They deserve more than that.
Were you ever in love?
Positively. I'm in love right now.
Yeah?
There's no other person involved, but I am. Who's got time for other people?
You don't have any little romantic memory in your mind of a woman you were in love with, but it just didn't work out?
I tell you the truth, I don't think it's any of your business. There's a limit how much information I have to give away for these prices.
In other words, if I up the price...
If you up the price, I tell you.
Well, good. Please don't get married or have children. You know what? One of the things about today is someone can make a clear choice like that and decide not to and shouldn't. You know.
Well, there's a different kind of social pressure in today's culture than there once was. There was a time that if you didn't get married, people thought you were a nut. You couldn't even get a job if you weren't married. Women felt very embarrassed by the thought of staying single past 22. By the time they were 23, a girl would walk around nauseous if she was still single. Every time she faced somebody, she said, "I'm almost married. I'm trying. Don't remind me." Oh yeah, blah. You see that guy? Who's this one? Who's the other one? They were always in a state of shock if they weren't married.
I just want to tell you,
we live in a much freer society where people respect your individuality, to do with your life as you please, and to live on your own terms. And that's a very healthy development.
It is a
healthy
development, especially for someone like you, Jackie. You made a pass at my sister years ago at the Concourse. You never forgot it.
That's right. I remember passing her, but making it.
Thank you for coming. You have to run over and do your show.
I don't want you to disturb too much because I have to leave you. Yeah. My show is such a big hit. I really didn't need this. But,
you did it because you're my friend.
But not only am I your friend, I saw the kind of clothes you're wearing. I knew you need help. I love the show, and I love you personally. When you said, did I ever have love? You could have love for a human being. It doesn't have to be the opposite sex. And don't get too close to me because this is the end of the friendship. This is it.
He's always been very nice to me.